So how do I make these wonderful animations, you ask? I make them with magic! But actually no. I get the Puka to do it all. Puka!
What?
Make an animation!
About what?
I don't care, make it up!
Alright, okay. Make an animation, he says. Do this, do that. Put Evil X in it. It'll be wonderful. Yeah, okay. Let's get going. Let's go.
Ah, the beautiful mesa biome. Reminds me of Season 4 of Hermitcraft. And let me tell you, I don't do a lot of this season, just flying around, you know, perusing the area. Someone's blatantly been digging here. Otherwise, that is a very perfectly formed curved line. In fact, there is plenty evidence over here of hermit activity. But anyway, I'm bringing you in this video to tell you something you already know, and that is that I am a complete derp. So this over here is a little contraption that I built on stream the other day, and it was just super fun to do some redstoning in survival without overthinking things too much, and what we got here can be improved in many ways. So don't take what you see here too seriously. This is a coral reef farm where you essentially sit here, and then with Silk Touch you can mine all of the stuff, right? Just going back and forth like this. The lower down you aim, if you get it just right, you'll be able to hit absolutely everything. But unfortunately, on occasion, something bad can happen. And it's just happened on both sides. Look at that, it can generate a coral that you don't actually hit unless you change your aiming and aim up to break it like so. And if you were getting a little bit anxious looking at my water bubbles, yes, you know, this thing isn't set up with a conduit, you could actually drown over here. So it gets the job done, but also if I swim around the back here, you can see amusingly it covers all the blocks outside with corals from the bone meal effect. And I've also learned that you don't need to use the beacon to insta-mine these blocks, so it's a very friendly, usable farm and a design that could be improved on. But the reason I'm a derp is because I needed this right here, which is the fire coral. Now what did I need this for? Well, Evil X wanted me to spruce up the place. As you can see, we have started creating a form of custom biome over here. And my special blocks, the thing that were going to knock this out of the park, were these. And I completely forgot to use them. I spent the entire stream getting these materials and then building all of this without using it. So this is going to look beautiful, but we've got to use it in a special way, and that is waterlogged, because these will die unless they're waterlogged. And this little trick right here can hide the water and allow you to keep that red fiery coral, which actually kind of pops out really well as it's a little brighter than these other details we've got here. We can also do the same thing again with the coral block. If we put water underneath it, then it won't die. And now we've got another red and fiery texture here. Now to be fair, if I hadn't explained exactly what I was up to, you might not have even noticed. I mean, it looks really good, but it is very subtle and blends in. So I've gone around and sprinkled a whole bunch of these here and there. And anyways, you're probably wondering, what on earth is all this right here about? So Evil X told me that we had to create a flash sale for artificial scarcity and FOMO? Don't know what these things are. So yes, on an entirely temporary basis, you can now get a limited supply of Derpcoin, 4 diamonds for 48 of them. And alongside it over here, we have some iron blocks as well. So for just 20 Derpcoin, you can get yourself a whole stack of iron blocks, which is far cheaper than what we sell inside the Evil Emporium. And you know what? We can afford to, because this thing continuously pumps out iron. I come over here relatively frequently now, and every time I do, this thing is just filled to the brim with iron. We've got too much of it. Anyways, all of this right here is temporary. We're going to use this platform in the middle for other things in the future. Do you ever encounter connection issues on the internet? Maybe a website won't load, downloading a file is slow. On some occasions, I've had issues connecting to the Hermitcraft server. The internet is a complex structure of connections, and sometimes issues arise that make a website unreachable or a game unplayable. A VPN won't always fix this, but can be a great remedy, allowing you to force a different route to the server or website by running your connection through a different location. This is great for streaming services like Netflix. I love the show Vikings, but it isn't available here in the UK. If I use ExpressVPN to connect to a server in Canada, then I'll be able to watch the show. It's a great tool to have at hand, and if this interests you, then head over to expressvpn.com/Xisuma. Using this link, you will get your first 3 months for free with a yearly subscription. ExpressVPN is easy to use, highly rated by CNET, The Verge, Wired, and they don't keep logs of your data. Their privacy policy has been audited by PwC. Use the link in the description box down below to sign up today. So let's get back to the episode, and you'll see the profits continue to roll in as the Save the Strider initiative has brought in a couple more sales. In fact, EvilX even wanted me to show you all where the diamonds are kept and how well we're doing so far. Look at that, a lot of diamonds have been generated. And things will only get better from here as we're going to introduce a new concept for the Derpcoin where holders of Derpcoin can earn interest on the amount that they have, which is pretty cool. And I've got an arrow in the side of my head. That explains this splitting headache that I've got. In the future, I have plans to build a little something around here that will lead our customers down to this basement below, where they will be able to partake in Derpcoin staking. There are going to be redstone contraptions built throughout this place, and it's going to be a marvel to behold. But we have other things to take care of first of all. Mainly our villager trading hall, which is starting to show its size and scale as I've been putting the pillars that go all the way up to the ceiling in place. And around on this side, I've tidied up the way in which the villagers get into the building, which is just simply through the side there, and we got an entrance like the other side, and yes, we are waiting for that copper to age. So once again, we have zombie smart doors here. They can't break them when they're in that state. They can when they're like this, but we shut them when we go through these trapdoors. So nothing will be able to get in here, and it'll be safe and sound. And down the other end, you might notice there's some trapdoors up here. There's actually a rail, so that when the zombies, I mean villagers, when they come through, they can go all the way across and around to the other side if we need to put them over here with our librarians. And as you can see, there's a lot of them. I've actually moved over every single villager. So yes, this place down here is now just a ghost town, with exception to the breeder and the villagers below. Every single villager that used to live down here is now gone. And yes, some of them that were useless met their demise over there in the lava. And we are just left with this fella here who converts the zombies. And we're going to bring this guy over to the trading hall now. So I'm brewing up a few potions here. We've got the instant health to heal the villagers before we convert them again, because their health might be on the low side, and one of the things that can speed up the conversion process is giving this guy a stronger weapon, and I'm a bit fearful about giving him a diamond sword with enchantments. So it's going to be that for now. And I guess we're pretty much ready to send this guy on his way. Just got to throw down a rail over here. And so this guy made it safe and sound across to the containment area. And a cool thing about putting rails on scaffolding is that it's like really easy to take all of it down because it all pops off at just a single click. Maybe I should do that for like the entirety of the track. So this guy needs breaking out from the minecart, but as you can see, I can't reach, and that's fine. Now the zombie shouldn't use this scaffolding to go up and down, so I can come up here and get into this area if ever we need to, and I can get out if ever I need to, like right now. And look at that, doesn't know how to go up and down on it. Now the turtle eggs are indeed in place, and look at that, standing right next to them. That is a very good sign. That means we're probably ready to give this thing a whirl. So now it's a case of selecting which one I want to get the trade price down. We've already done some good ones like mending. I'm thinking protection is what we'll do next. That's this fella right here, and what I want to do is heal them. I don't think they've interacted with the zombie, so this is actually kind of pointless, but it's got to hit the hitbox is what I'm thinking. Okay, that kind of like went in, but if I were a little bit closer, it might hit this here. And these trapdoors either side might get in the way of something like weakness being passed on to a few at once, because maybe I want to do this in groups of 3. We'll find out in a moment. For now, we're going to activate it. And that should have moved the block behind you, which it has. We can see there is a big gap. Look at that face. So here's where things get ugly. Like, You're still standing there. Maybe I need to put like a couple extra blocks above the turtle egg. Now I was going to run in here like a bit of a loon, but then I realised I could get on top and place the blocks down like that. Now it's going over for the second lot of turtles, okay. No, he's going for the villager. It's working. It's working. Okay, you got some golden armor. That's most peculiar. Now, we need to hit that and see what happens to the zombie behind it. It got pushed out. Excellent. And now it's probably looking at those turtle eggs. Right. So, experiment number 2, I guess, is this has got to hit its hitbox, but does it hit the other ones as well? So, I'm going to stand back a little bit, and that looked like a direct hit. Kind of looks like it hit quite a few of them, so maybe the trapdoors didn't get in a way, and I could actually do multiple ones at once, which would save on these potions, which isn't really a big deal. What I really need to save on is the golden apples. Yes, the 9 golden apples that I had cost me 8 gold blocks, so not a lot of gold really to do a lot of converting. Because as you will see here, this one needs converting multiple times. Breakdancing Bob there, spinning around. The trade hasn't come down to 1 yet, so we need to do this a couple more times. And that's why we want to use these health potions. So sometimes this happens. I mean, the guy is just bobbing up and down back there, which is super annoying. I have a theory that it might actually be tracking me. So let's whiz away. And then we'll head back. And they're all converted. I have to leave this room each time I want one of them converted, which is kind of annoying. So now for the big test. There we go. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, that is a lot of noise in my eardrums right there. It looked like the zombie dude was trapped in the slab. Oh, look at that. I am so glad I distracted him. Right, we really need to hook this up to some sort of little system we can jump into from the middle. The annoying thing here is that you always have to hold down shift, right? So I'm going to have to rebuild this floor, I guess. So my friends, much time has passed by, as evidence of a lot of oxidization of the copper over here. But on the opposite side, not the same story. I don't know why it's so slow to get going over here. Anyway, a lot has changed here on the inside. Let's first of all just pop down through this scaffolding, which is now permanent. And as you can see, we've got a little group of walkways, so we can go up here, pop up our head, attract the zombie if we need to. And for the most part, this thing does have its flaws, but it does work as well. It's actually been pretty much smooth sailing. Every villager you see here has been converted back and forth at least once, and that meant that I had to get some more gold. But luckily for me, I had some stashed away in the evil empire for the gold ore that we sell there, so I just took a stack and broke it all down. And with that, we now have a complete set of librarians. Now, I still need about 7 or 8 books, like fire protection and feather falling. But otherwise, everything you see here is now 1 for 1 on the trades. And we have a full stash of books. So what I've been doing is I've been putting the barrels up here for those trades. And when they sometimes have 2 or 3, we then have an additional barrel down here for the extra trade that they have. And look at this, we are absolutely fully stocked all the way across. And when I designed this whole thing, I never really thought about actually using it. I wish I had created more space and more options to signify things like this. The name tags, they represent trades that are just 1 for a name tag. There's something else I've been doing here is taking advantage of these 2 trades. So you can get books for emeralds, right? And then you can trade those for the bookshelves. But then the bookshelves will drop even more books. And if there were a little more space here for item frames with items in, maybe I could just sort of put them next to the villagers that have the right trades. Now sometimes they got both, which is great, but sometimes it's only bookshelves, or sometimes it's only these ones. Anyway, I think that puts a wrap on the villager grind for today, as I've spent hours and hours over here, going insane, staring at villagers and trading. So time for a breath of fresh air. Or perhaps not, because we're going back underground. Or inside. And all I've done so far for our redstone project down here is gather the materials. There is a lot of redstone going into this. I'm just going to build it all in one go and then explain it after. So look at this. Up here on the surface, Vintage Beef has been building while I've been underground redstoning. And this thing ain't going to be ready in today's episode, sadly. Now I have put pretty much all of the pieces together, but we lack an entrance, and I really don't want the hermits coming down here and this being their first impression of everything. And then we need like a transition area between the two different components of this staking system, as I'm calling it. Aha, so there's a bunch of redstone here, and on this side there's even more redstone down below. Oh, it looks so complicated and confusing, doesn't it? Well, explaining it here in survival is going to be kind of tricky, so let's hop over to my test world. So what is the point of all of this redstone? I should actually probably explain that first of all. So in this game, diamonds do not earn you passive income. There's no interest for holding them. However, what we're going to do with Derpcoin is add an interest rate for those that come over here and stake their Derpcoin, which means you take some of it, put it away inside our system, and it will feed you back more Derpcoin with time. We're literally putting an interest rate on this stuff so our customers can earn even more Derpcoin. Now, two important things to consider. We want this system to be secure, and we're only going to have a limited amount of customers. In fact, there are going to be 16 slots for staking your Derpcoin in total. So this first and fancy system right here is going to enable you to buy a pass to get into your Derpcoin stake. And you'll see over here that you can't actually access the dropper, but you can access this hopper down here. So, from a chest or somewhere nearby, using premium Derpcoin, they can buy a derp key. And for our testing over here, that derp key is simply going to be a netherite ingot. So if I go ahead and try and put redstone in here, it doesn't accept it. It has to be the correct item. And when it goes in, it then shoots us out our derp key, which is also a netherite ingot for testing purposes. The lamp goes off. You can see here the dropper is locked, although I've punched it away and no one else can come here and use this again. Now this is definitely the easier to understand system. As you can see, there's not a lot going into it. At the bottom here, we have a hopper set up so that it can accept one item to come into here. That's why the redstone dust couldn't go in when we were putting it into the hopper above. And when this is full, it allows the comparator here to put out a signal because it's currently in subtract mode with the full strength signal on the side, and that then just gets transmitted upwards so that we can change the state of the lamp and the iron trapdoors as well. And the lamp, by the way, when it's on, it means that you can come over here and buy a pass. And you are probably dying to know what that derp key looks like, right? There it is right there. What an amazing texture. Oh, that is so cool. By the way, shout out to Stridey, who's been making all of these custom textures for me this season. You're doing a cracking job, my dude. These things look amazing. Now, system number 2 looks super complicated. And you know what? It is. But you, my friend, today are going to become a redstone expert. I keep hopping back and forth between the test world and this place. I wanted to show you the texture here from the item filter. Check it out. That, my friends, that is the Derpcoin staking pass. That is what was purchased in the previous system, and so now the user can come over here and find their corresponding pass, because all of these are going to be numbered. The hopper is even renamed on Hermitcraft, so you can see where you're putting it. And when you chuck it in here, it spits you back your your pass, or sends it over the ledge, and allows you to access this barrel right here and this item hopper. And after a little bit of time, the iron door will close again. So let's go down below and see what's happening. First of all, the item that comes into here, it gets transported across into this dropper and shot back up to the player for them to pick up. Now what will also happen is this comparator, when that is full, because the correct item has gone into there. By the way, this is an item filter, so nothing else can go in. You have to put in the correct pass. That'll then create a signal going down here. We've got a piston at the bottom. It actually gets powered by this redstone right here, believe it or not. And when the redstone block gets pushed along, it means that all of these items can slowly filter over to the other side. Now, the first thing that's going to happen is this comparator will turn on, which opens the door up the top here. Now, once the rest of the items have made their way into the hopper, the signal strength will be strong enough for the second one to turn on, which is in subtract mode. And this just sends a signal back round to the piston, so that pushes the redstone block across and the items start to make their way back into this side. And that is basically a big system to create a long delay for this iron trapdoor here to stay open for a while. Now the reason we want it to stay open is so that the hermit can access the staking right here. This hopper is where they will put all of their Derpcoin. Okay, I had to change something here. I think when copy and pasting and tiling this design from wherever I built the original stuff, something got changed along the way. One thing to note about this is it's actually just a series of one wide designs tiled over and over again. So you only got to focus on a small amount of the redstone. So anyway, what's going on here is that the player is required to fill the hopper full of Derpcoin, like this. And when they've done that, they will then be staking because the lamp above turns on. So if we come around the back here, you'll see that we have a signal that comes in that can be controlled by this line down here. So we'll set up a clock to send this signal every so often, and when that happens, a derp coin can be moved from this dropper across into this barrel. And that right there, my friends, is the interest rate. If you have 5 stacks of derp coins staked in this system, you'll get paid out additional derp coins over time. Now, something to note here is that we have this comparator on subtract mode and that this is powered by default, meaning this part of the redstone can't accidentally activate this dropper. So if I come in here and take out some of those derp coins, the lamp will turn off, and then when we go around to the back, this torch will turn on. And that means then when this happens, you can see it doesn't send a signal through to the dropper. So you've got to have 5 stacks of derp coin in here to receive your additional derp coin in the barrel below. So it's one thing to have the system up and running here on Hermitcraft, but a whole other thing to make it presentable to other hermits. And so up the top here, I'm going to have to do some building to create an entrance and whatnot, but that will be something for another episode. But don't go anywhere just yet, because we got to talk about this place over here. Or maybe I should say this place. This is the one that y'all voted on. Thank you for participating that in the last episode. And as you can see, I've made quite a few modifications here. So I've decided to finalize our palette with this selection of blocks right here. And you'll notice they're color coded with wall. And those are all of the wall blocks that appear on the outside. So yes, I have used my mind's eye to think about how those textures and materials would appear in this area. And I've redefined some of the shapes, taking out that big blue blob that was at the back here. And so now this thing is really ready for me to start working on it. But what I'm going to do is bring you through the building process, like episode by episode. We'll have a small segment where I chip away at this project one by one. And when it's finished here in creative mode, then we'll bring it over to the Hermitcraft server. So if you ain't subscribed, you got that to look forward to in future episodes, as well as many more shenanigans, as we are just doing so many projects here and I'm loving this season. If you've enjoyed the episode, be sure to leave a like. Thank you as always for your support, and let me know what you think about that derp coin staking with a comment down below. That's it. Bye bye.